Hello guys, in today's video we'll learn about the principles of design. Principles of design are of various kinds like contrast, repetition, alignment, proximity, the symmetry and everything. First one is the unity. Unity is a force operating within a design that gives it an appearance of oneness or resolution. This ensures no single part is more important than the other. To achieve visual unity is the main goal of design. When all elements are in agreement, a design is considered unified. In this image, you can see the unity which is showing the same colors, but the variety is showing us of different sizes. In this image, you can see the unity of the same sizes, but the variety that they are of different colors. So, the unity can be shown with the same color. The unity can be shown with same sizes. Now the balance. Balance in design carry weight just like a physical word, but it's called visual weight. The visual weight of a design need to have balance. It's like putting two objects on a seesaw. If one side is too heavy, the viewer's eyes goes directly to the heavy part. It's weighted with all things equal. The seesaw is perfectly suspended without either side touching the ground. Balance can be amplified by size, shape, or even contrast. While it can utilize symmetry or equity, a balance can also be achieved through asymmetry. Think of asymmetry as the opposite of the mirroring. Instead of seeing the reflection, you see something that evenly distributes the elements. For example, three small objects can offset the visual weight of one large object, or a small dark and shaded object can offset the visual weight of a large lighter element. Yes, in this image you can see the balance. This is a symmetrical balance. Consider this is a vertical line. So the objects shown on the left side are equally symmetry to the balance the object shows on the right side. It's a symmetrical balance. Now in this image, it's an asymmetrical balance. Like if you create a mirror line diagonal like this is one object which is bigger. To complement that, there are three objects which are smaller in size, but they complement the bigger object in a proper way. So it is an asymmetrical balance. Now the hierarchy, one of the most important principles in design. Hierarchy is a way to visual rank your design elements. Hierarchy is not based on a design style, but rather the order of importance. A good design leads the eye through each area in priority order. In order of importance, the logo tells the user where they are. The site navigation shows the user how to get around the site, and the call to attention or the action compels the user to do something. A good rule of thumb for hierarchy is that your most important element should be the most prominent. In this image, you can see all the lines are of equal size and equal thickness and equal length. So there is no hierarchy. But in the image shown in the right side, you can see the highlighted part, the grey one, the pink one, and the lighter grey one. These are the highlighted part. So you can see this is the hierarchy. Similarly, if you see in the entire slide, the principle of design which is written on the top This is the main hierarchy. Then this is the second one, and this is the tertiary one. So it is something which is showing as a hierarchy. Now let's take an example, say like a Google map. The Google map in which you see the directions and something. The start point and the end point are the main hierarchy points. So it is something which is catching your eye, and you should know that where you are actually, and the routes are the secondary ones. Now comes the contrast. The difference between two or more objects in a design is referred to as contrast. The difference in object could be light and dark, thin and thick, small and large, bright and dull, etc. Contrast is most commonly associated with readability, legibility, and accessibility. Like hierarchy, the most important elements in a design should have the most contrast. A bright blue button on a stark white background with a lot of white space is considered high contrast. If the button was almost the same color as the background, it would have less contrast. Like, let's see in this design. These are the example of contrast in shape. This is the contrast with color, in which these are the contrasting thing. These are the contrast in scale, the thicker one, the lighter one. So these are in contrast, and these are the contrast in layout. So the contrast can be of various kind: the shape, the color, the scale, or the layout. Now comes the emphasis. Emphasis can be created by size, weight, position, color, shape, and style. Sometimes referred to as dominance, emphasis might seem similar to contrast, but it's not quite the same. Contrast deals with the difference between two objects, and the emphasis deals with the impact of an object. Adding emphasis to an object creates a focal point, which grabs an audience's attention. It's where you want the viewer to look first, but doesn't overpower the rest of the design. Or it would be out of balance. A simple example is a long hallway or corridor where your eyes is drawn to the end of the hallway. Imagine painting a bright wall at the end. That's a focal point. Now you can see this image. The first one, the entire image is created with a hexagons of grey color, but you can see one hexagon is there with a pink color, which is the emphasis in this entire image. Similarly, in this middle image, you can see these circles of grey color in various positions, but there is a focal point which is emphasis, which is shown through a pink circle. In this image, you can see various arches which are shown with grey color, which are facing upwards. Then there is an image, a arch which is of pink color. Although this is showing the emphasis through the color, but it is also creating the emphasis by facing downward. So the emphasis can be shown on the same direction, or it can be also shown in a different direction as well. Now comes the scale. Scale is the sizing of element or a standard of measurement. It can be used in combination with other principles like emphasis to draw the viewers into a focal point and help us make sense of design or imagery. If something is drawn to scale, it shows an object with accurate sizing, through it could be reduced or enlarged from its actual size. This creates a way to depict object as larger than life. or bring a larger object down to fit on a piece of paper. This is an example of a scale and a proportion. The scale and proportion can be shown through size, the ratio, or the divisions as well. In the first image, you can see the sizes, the bars of various sizes and thickness. The longer one, the smaller one, the thicker one, the thinner ones. Then comes the ratio. These all are rectangles, but they are all of different ratio, the proportion as well. The larger one, the smaller ones, the more smaller ones. Now the divisions. Consider this as an entire page in which the first one is taken as a half of the page. Then these are the smaller divisions. So the scale and proportion can be shown through size, through ratio, or the divisions. Then comes the repetition. Repetition is the recurrence of a design element commonly utilized in patterns or textures. Repetitive elements can be used in conjunction with other principles to create a design that leads a user's eye to a focal point, has continuity or a flow. A repetitive element could be repeated lines, shape, forms, color, or even design elements. Here you can see the various colors, the various shapes of different colors, and there you can see the pink lines in the middle. But if you consider this one, the first one, as the first line, this is the second line, this is the third line, this is the fourth line, this is the fifth line. There's a kind of repetition of this in each of the lines, but they are also creating a rhythm into it, like upward, downward, upward, downward, upward, downward, and the same kind. So the repetition changes perspective. Thank you.